Tao, thank you, I'm just so comfortable with you. A woman came out of the apartment movie theater. She was only wearing a thin nightgown, the nightgown buttons were still loose. The door opened and I saw my best friend's son, Li Tao, then walk out. Tall Li Tao and I remember completely different. He had a big smile on his face, patted the woman's back to comfort. Turning his head to see me, he was slightly surprised. His eyes looked me up and down full of joy. Aunt Yun, you came to see the movie too? I'll accompany you to watch. I'm now the administrator of our apartment's movie theater. The boss is away on a business trip and gave the private theater to me to manage. I was still thinking about that woman. Seeing that I didn't respond, Li Tao approached me. Aunt Yun, you even hugged me when I was little. You took good care of me, really. Let me accompany you to watch a movie to relax and unwind. He spoke without embarrassment and acted normally, as if the late generation cared about their elders. But as I looked at the jealous expression on that woman's face, I couldn't help but feel a lurch inwardly. Watching a movie is watching a movie. How come that woman's clothes are messy and Li Tao is dripping with sweat? Li Tao finished and gave me a hug. And when I was a child, that kind of hug is different. Now tall and big Li Tao hugged me, has been a normal man's hug. I didn't expect him to have such a good body, toned muscles, broad and strong shoulders. He even spun around a few times after picking me up. Why does this kid seem to have turned bad now? In the midst of blushing, I wanted Li Tao to put me down. But Li Tao didn't let go, but said to the woman next to him. Aunt Wang, you go first, come back next time. Hearing his words, the woman giggled. Her eyes carried a touch of ambiguity, and she glanced at me to leave. My name is Lu Yun, this area is all art schools. My son came here to further his education, that's why I moved here to make it easier to take care of him. I live in this 3-story apartment building. Most of the people who live here are single mothers who accompany their children here. It's been 2 years since I moved here, and while I'm in regular contact with my girlfriends, I haven't seen Li Tao in a while. He was now behaving cheerfully, like a child. But being so messed up by him, it messed up my heart. Quickly put me down, don't let others give it a look, it's not good. Thinking of the woman's eyes, I was a bit beat up inside, afraid of being misunderstood by others or something. Hurriedly let him put me down. Being dragged by him for so many times, my breathing is now a little unsteady. Subconsciously gasping for breath, I broke away from Li Tao's arms, wanting to stay away from Li Tao, but I didn't expect Li Tao to yank over me. What are you afraid of, auntie? I'll treat you to a movie. I'm the administrator of the theater, with privileges. You don't have to pay to watch a movie. Seeing that I refused several times, he pulled me inside the movie theater without waiting for me to answer. Apartment movie theater is a single mother to get. Before it was all her to manage. I did not expect that now she actually let Li Tao to be in charge of everything inside the movie theater. Being pulled in by Li Tao, I was stunned to see the big screen inside. Above the big screen was actually playing a special love movie. I was a little ashamed and didn't dare to look up at Li Tao. Li Tao scratched his head. Sorry, Aunt Yun, just now Aunt Wang insisted on watching this kind of movie. Thinking of the woman's messy clothes, I subconsciously looked at Li Tao. Li Tao looked at my eyes and panicked to explain. Did you misunderstand something? It's impossible for me to mess around with Auntie Wang, it's just that Auntie Wang said she wants to watch that kind of movie, and I can't not put it on for her. Most of the people inside this apartment are single mothers like you, Aunt Yun, who accompany them, so it's understandable that they occasionally watch this kind of movie. Don't stop it. I looked at Li Tao and shyly lowered my head. Inside, it was like something longing started to grow. Li Tao didn't stop because of my words, instead, he pulled me to sit down on the double sofa. Auntie Yun, what's there to be shy about? A woman has needs. You've worked hard to take care of little Feng, that aspect is even more important, not to commit yourself. I blushed red inwardly but was somewhat moved. Li Tao's words simply said to my heart. After divorcing my ex-husband, I didn't look for another one, and many lonely nights I could only rely on myself to solve the problem. The bitterness of which only they can understand, did not expect to be Li Tao set out. Auntie Yun, I've grown up and become a man now, you took care of me when you were a child, now let me take care of you. But I knew I couldn't do that. Li Tao is my best friend's son, how could I be like this with him? I panicked and tried to push him away. Xiao Tao, don't do this. Dingling bell. The cell phone in my bag suddenly rang, breaking the ambiguous atmosphere and bringing me back to my senses. I hurriedly pushed him away and took out my cell phone from my bag to answer it. Zhang Feng's mom, please come over. Zhang Feng got into a fight with someone. The call was from my son's guide. Hearing that my son actually got into a fight with someone, my heart raced. I panicked and pushed Li Tao away and ran outside. To my son's school, I realized that the original son played basketball with others in conflict. The two groups of people fought. Good thing everyone is not seriously injured. Each apologized and took the child to the hospital for examination. I will son a lecture, and took him to the hospital to check to make sure there is no problem before relaxing. After all this, it was already dark. I dragged my tired body and my son back to the apartment. My son said he had to go shopping and asked me to go back first. Just walked into the apartment corridor, is about to go up the stairs, suddenly someone hugged me from behind. I was subconsciously about to scream out, but the person behind me covered my mouth. Auntie Yin, it's me. It was actually Li Tao. In my daze, Li Tao dragged me into the theater next to him. He closed the door behind him and pulled me onto the sofa. The previous movie was still playing on the big screen. Li Tao came to my ear and whispered, Auntie Yin, tomorrow is your birthday. I'm giving you a birthday present in advance. Your condition during the day let me know that you are lonely and empty every day, so this time I'll give you myself so that you can feel the love of a real man, okay? I hadn't even slowed down from the situation I'd just been in when I heard a thump. Mom, are you inside the theater? Accompanied by a knock on the door, my son's voice rang out from outside. He probably didn't see the guess that I went inside the theater. I subconsciously wanted to open my mouth to answer my son, but Li Tao covered my mouth. Auntie Yun, don't make a sound, it's not good if your son sees it. Huh, did my mom go up first? My son's voice muttering to himself came out, causing me to be a little irritated underneath my worry. Li Tao's two hands were even more unctuous, constantly making strange moves on my body. No, Tao, you can't do this. The knock on the door outside has stopped. The sound of footsteps gradually far away. My son thought that I was not there, should have left. Li Tao had obviously heard it too, and he got bolder as one of his hands wandered up my leg, lifting the hem of my skirt and grabbing the edge of my chaps. Snap! The originally dimly lit theater hall suddenly went dark, and the picture on the big screen disappeared. It was as if the power had gone out. Bang, bang, bang. There was another knock on the door from outside, and my son went and returned at some point. There was even the voice of his best friend. Auntie Long, are you here to find Li Tao? Oh, the power went out and I came over to see. What are you doing here? I just came home and didn't see my mom, checking to see if she came here. The two stood outside the door talking, and the best friend shouted inside. Li Tao, are you in there? Open the door. Hearing my bestie's words, I came back to my senses and hurriedly tried to push Li Tao away. Li Tao didn't want to pay attention to the words of his girlfriends and son outside and still wanted to continue to be with me. I guess they are all out, we better go back first. The girlfriend stopped knocking on the door, wanting to leave with the son. My son, however, didn't leave. You go back first, Auntie Long, there's no point in having a blackout anyway. I'll wait here for my mom to see if she's out doing something else. Although inwardly I feel very exciting, but my son has not gone outside. I am a little ashamed, panicked and wanted to refuse Li Tao. Just to see the son does not go. BFF knocked up the door again. Just this time the screen lit up to recall. The light shines under the thought of son and girlfriends right outside. I pushed away Li Tao forcefully. I pushed Li Tao away with all my might. I put my clothes back together and walked over to open the door. After seeing me, my girlfriend froze, and then subconsciously looked behind me, with some meaningful eyes. My son gave me a searching look. Mom, have you been inside? I shook my head somewhat sheepishly. No, I just walked downstairs and realized the power was out, so I came over to take a look. My son didn't think much of it, and with a hum pulled me home. Along the way I was carefully observing my son, found that his face did not have any abnormalities before I was relieved. Just now, almost en Li Tao like that, I more or less still have a little bit of weakness. Especially worried that my son will not be able to stand after knowing. Now I saw that my son didn't seem to think much of it before relaxing. After I went back, I made dinner for my son, and after he ate, he went back to his bedroom, and I was about to take a shower and go to rest, when I suddenly heard a knock on the door. I was about to take a shower and go to rest, when I suddenly heard a knock on the door. In doubt, I went to the door and opened it, but found that it was my best friend Xiaolan. My best friend came in and looked around, asking if my son was asleep. Looking at her mysterious look, I nodded and pulled her to my bedroom. I didn't expect that just after going in. BFF said something that shocked me greatly. "Are you with Li Tao?" My bestie's words made my eyes instantly widen, and almost without thinking, I retorted, "No. No." My best friend smiled playfully and pulled me to sit down on the edge of the bed, her eyes staring straight at me as she opened her mouth. "You don't lie to me, we both know so many years I still don't understand you. Whenever you lie, you blush, look at you, this face is almost burning up." By the girlfriend so joked, I instantly shy incomparable, cannot help but lowered his head, did not dare to look at her. My best friend held my hand and then said, "I felt wrong when I saw you in the theater today, that theater is not decent at all, often people are in it." Said here. BFF sighed. "You also know that Li Tao is not my own son, and I'm not saying bad things about him behind his back. I heard that he has a relationship with a lot of women who go to the movies." I was inwardly shocked. Because BFF was too playful when she was young, she also had several abortions, and then she couldn't have any more children. Worried about her in-laws' disapproval, she adopted a child and pretended it was her own. But then the in-laws found out, which led to the girlfriend's divorce Li Tao awarded to her. At first, my best friend had sought my help, so I was informed of this matter. I was shocked that Li Tao actually really and a lot of women are. Remembering the appearance of the woman before, I quickly believed the words of my girlfriends. Also admitted what happened in the theater. Li Tao and I did almost. Lon in the theater. You can rest assured that I will definitely not have contact with Li Tao in the future." My girlfriend was not surprised, but interrupted me. "You misunderstand my meaning. It's normal for you to be single for so long to have needs in that area. I am trying to tell you, if you want to have fun with Li Tao, I am very supportive. In the future, just go to my house, not in the movie theater, in case people see it is not good. It is also not good for Xiaofeng." I really didn't expect my bestie to be so generous, and so considerate of me. A warm current flowed through my heart, and the sense of shame that arose earlier because of the matter with Li Tao gradually disappeared. Li Tao's strong body once again appeared in my mind. Take away the external factors, if I can really be with Li Tao, it is definitely a very happy thing. Girlfriend talked to me for a while, let me rest assured boldly pursue their own happiness. Anyway, Li Tao is not her biological son, I do not have to have any psychological burden. I have to say that my girlfriend's words are very useful to me, the guilt is less after the desire will slowly begin to occupy the heart. After sending my best friend away, I did not sleep for a long time at night, and finally tossed and turned a bit before falling into a deep sleep. I slept until the next morning. When I got up, my son had already left for school. I guess he didn't wake me up because he didn't want to disturb my sleep. After I went to wash up, I received a call from my best friend, who had to go on a temporary business trip and asked me to help clean up the house. Thinking about what my best friend said about being able to be at her house, I knew that my best friend was creating an opportunity for me. After agreeing to it, I regretted it a little. But since I had already promised my best friend, I had to go to her house. Just after knocking a few times, the door opened from inside. "Aunt Yun, are you here to see me?" Standing inside, Li Tao was presumably just out of the shower, with only a towel around his waist, and that big, thick body was visible. My heart got hot just looking at it. Hearing his words, I panicked and explained. "It's your mom who asked me to come and help clean up." Perhaps a little weak, I spoke with a tremor. Not waiting for me to finish my words, Li Tao dragged me in. Li Tao carried me to the bedroom and threw me on the bed. When I thought he would instantly pounce on me, I did not expect him to open the closet and put on the clothes. This made me a little surprised. "Li Tao, did he not want to be with me?" "Aunt Yun, I'll take you to the theater." Obviously have been almost cannot stand, actually still have the mood to take me to the theater. It is hard not to be. Li Tao, is there any special fetish? I am puzzled in the middle by Li Tao, hot and anxious, pulled to the theater downstairs. Just walked into the theater inside, Li Tao played before to me to see that movie. For his fetish I have some hard to accept, I cannot care about anything else, only want to immerse in the pleasure. Several movies ended before Li Tao stopped. When it was over, I couldn't help but ask the doubts in my heart. Xiao Tao, why do you? You have to come here to the theater. Actually because. Li Tao's words hadn't finished. Outside suddenly sounded a knock on the door. Someone is coming to see the movie. Li Tao and I scrambled to put our clothes in order, and Li Tao also hurriedly turned off the movie. Li Tao to go to busy work. I left here. The next day Li Tao called me and asked me to meet him at the movie theater. Since that kind of thing had already happened, I was no longer squirming. In this way the two of us began to spend a few days in the movie theater inside the absurd and beautiful days. I had been immersed in happiness, but I forgot to ask Li Tao why he had to be in the movie theater. After all, my best friend wasn't at home, so wouldn't it be better at home? A few days later I returned home from the movie theater, only to see my ex-husband waiting at the door. Divorced from my ex-husband for so long, the two of us have never had any contact, and his sudden arrival made me a little puzzled. But in the end, he is also my son's father, I can't completely ignore him, so I opened the door and let him in. My ex-husband's face had been very ugly, and when he went in he angrily pointed at me. Lu Yun, is this how you take care of my son? How can you set a good example for him when you're a mom like this? I'm telling you, I'm taking my son away. Hearing his words I couldn't help but freeze, looking at him incredulously. Zhang Dazhuang, what have I done to hurt the world that you want to take my son away? My son is the most important person to me, of course I cannot allow Zhang Dazhuang to take him away. Zhang Dazhuang snorted coldly, then pulled out his cell phone from his pocket and waved it in front of me. Look at what you've done, it's simply too embarrassing, so old and still hooking up with other youngsters. Just like you, my son will only learn bad by following you. I looked at the video on his cell phone and was struck by lightning, because the video was actually of me and Li Tao together. I look very active in the video, but also very enjoyable, at first glance as a woman of prostitution. Seeing the scene in the video I was a bit dumbfounded, my body was trembling continuously. Where did you get this video from? Zhang Dazhuang put his cell phone back and grunted angrily at me. I don't need you to know where I got it from, in short, I don't feel comfortable with you taking care of my son, I'm going to take him away. Mom, is that video of my dad real? While I was in a daze, I saw my son walk in from outside, he looked at me with an inquiry in his eyes. It was obvious that he had heard what Zhang Dazhuang and I had said just now. I quickly ran over and pulled my son's arm. Son, listen to my explanation, actually Mom. The things in the video are true, I don't know how to say this thing to my son for a moment. Zhang Dazhuang tugged his son's arm toward the outside. Son, go back with me, and don't even follow her anymore. My son looked back at me and actually really didn't stay, but followed Zhang Dazhuang and left together. Watching my son leave, my heart felt like empty. General paralyzed on the ground for a long time, did not return to God. Calm down, I began to think carefully about the video thing. That video is like in the movie theater. Obviously is Li Tao photographed sent to the ex-husband. And in addition to the two of us, only the girlfriends know that Li Tao and I are together. BFF wouldn't betray me, so it must have been Li Tao who did it. It's just that I can't figure out what his purpose is for doing this. I've never done anything wrong to Li Tao, why would he set up a bureau so to harm me? Under the anger I directly to Li Tao called to question. Li Tao, why did you send the video between the two of us to my ex-husband? Li Tao paused when he heard my words and almost subconsciously denied it. Auntie Yun, I've never done such a thing. The facts were right in front of me, how was I going to believe him? Seeing that he was still denying it at this point in time, I became even more angry. Li Tao, don't lie to me anymore, what exactly do you want to do? What can you have? Can't you come at me, I can't lose my son. Said I cried. Li Tao seemed a little panicked. Aunt Yun, I'm going to find you now. I do not want to listen to his sophistry, directly hang up the phone, at the same time his cell phone number to pull black, decided not to contact him in the future. Worried that my son would never come back, I called him, but he never answered. Under the sadness, I lie on the bedroom bed numbly staring at the ceiling. From time to time, I dialed the phone to my son, but my son never answered. During the period I heard Li Tao knocking on the door outside, kept trying to explain to me what, but my whole body is muddled, simply cannot listen. I never opened the door for him. After a while the sound of knocking disappeared. Li Tao should have left. At night time I heard the door was opened from outside. This house, in addition to me, only my son has a key. Could it be that my son is back? Surprise, in the middle of my panic, ran out, found that indeed is the son back. Behind him actually followed Li Tao. After seeing Li Tao I was very angry, immediately went over to push him. Li Tao, you give me a role, hurry to leave my house, you put me into this situation, actually still have the face to come over. My son stopped me. Mom, Li Tao is innocent, I brought him back this time because I want to explain this matter to you. I heard my son's words and stopped moving. My son pulled me to sit down on the sofa. Li Tao also sat on my other side. In fact, I left with my dad on purpose, just to find out what this video is all about. As for you and Li Tao's matter just now, Li Tao told me all about it. As my son narrated, I realized what was really going on. It turned out that my son did not want to abandon me, he just wanted to find out the truth of the matter. Through Zhang Dachuang's cell phone, he found out that the person who sent him the video was actually my best friend Xiaolan. Learning this news, he immediately came over to look for me and happened to meet Li Tao. Li Tao told him everything as well, including the reason why Li Tao was not at home, but at the movie theater with me, is because he knew that in his home has a camera. He also knew that my girlfriends wanted to take a video of me and give me a bad name. That's why he took me to the theater. But he didn't think for a second that even going to the theater actually didn't get him out of it. He wanted to come over and explain this matter to me, but I never opened the door, so he could only guard the door. And Yun, it's all my fault, I should have told you about Zhao Lan's plan. I was worried that you would think that I was stirring up trouble. I could only protect you secretly, I didn't think that I still hadn't escaped. Looking at Li Tao's face full of guilt, I can't say the words of blame, just think of the things he did to accompany the shadow is still a little skeptical of him. My son saw my thoughts and explained a few words for Li Tao. In fact, Li Tao in the theater is to do accompanying shadow. Some people would like to have something with him, but all were rejected by him, otherwise I would not have agreed to him and you together. Hearing my son's words I completely relaxed. Accompanied by my son and Li Tao I reported to the police. Because of the invasion of other people's privacy Xiaolan was arrested in. Seeing Xiaolan in the police station I asked my question. Xiaolan, we have known each other for so many years, why are you doing this to me? The corner of Xiaolan's mouth revealed a light smile. I just can't stand to see you, obviously a slut but still have so many people like you, I've always been able to only serve as a companion by your side. You also have such an excellent son, while I don't even have a biological child, there is an adopted son who actually likes you, I'm so jealous of you that I'm going crazy. I never thought it was because of this reason. Xiaolan saw Li Tao's fondness for me and this became the trigger for her plan to use Li Tao to harm me. Looking at Xiaolan's frantic appearance I shook my head, actually, Li Tao is also very good, why can't you just see it? What does his excellence have to do with me, he's not my own son. Listening to Xiaolan's words I sighed, such a person doesn't make sense. She blames all her misfortunes on others but doesn't look at herself for the reasons. Not bothering to pay any more attention to her I left the police station. My son and Li Tao were standing outside waiting for me. Seeing me come out both of them greeted me at the same time, my son smiled and took my arm. Mom, I don't mind having one more person to love you. My son's words made me blush, and the next moment my other arm was taken by someone. Auntie Yun, I'm homeless now, can you take me in? Saying this he came up to my ear as if he was afraid of being overheard by my son. I can make money, I can work and still bring you pleasure, it's definitely a sure thing. This brat actually dared to say this kind of words in front of my son, said I blushed to the root of my ears. I didn't realize that he had an even bolder one, and actually reached behind me with one hand and grabbed it. This time almost made me scream out from scratching. I nodded with a red face, let us go home. The two men took me by the left and the right and walked towards the front, towards our happy life.